Rolling Stones. 7:59 the time. We're just a couple of seconds shy of the 8 o'clock hour. Welcome to a Monday edition of the Mornings with Ed show. An absolutely gorgeous, beautiful day here along the Southern California coastline. Wherever you happen to be listening from across the globe, welcome to the program. Welcome to the radio station. Delighted that you're here with us this morning. So I spent a good portion of the last couple of weeks kind of thumbing through a book, but I decided this past weekend to get serious and just finish it up. I could not be more delighted that I did that. Esther Wildenberg is the author of a book called The Undermined Soul, Leadership Strategies to Reveal Your Full Potential. Not only an author, but a professional keynote speaker. She's an accomplished consultant and worldwide sought-after transformation coach. She's committed to empowering not just women, but also men while leaving a sustainable legacy today for the next generation. She's also the co-founder and president of something that we'll be talking about here as well called Codebreaker Technologies. The world leader in personality coding technology, and she's got more than 2 decades of international experience. I can't wait for this conversation. I've been looking forward to it. We welcome this morning the author of The Undermined Soul, Esther Wildenberg. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
It's great to see you today. Thank you for coming in. I should have also mentioned, you never realize how incredibly talented the people that just walk by your life every day are. You've been taking daily walks here past the studio every day for the last couple of years that I've been here. And we struck up a conversation. Turns out you wrote this incredible book. I love that. I love just knowing how random the world can be sometimes. This book is drawn from your personal life. It was inspired from a question from your son, Kai. You grew up in the Netherlands. You came to the States. You've had 2 near-death experiences. I was struck by one line in the book, and I want to start there if I could, okay? I've made millions, and I've lost millions. I've loved deeply and have been heartbroken many times. I hid my true self for decades, lived paycheck to paycheck. I've been scared, depressed, felt that I was worth nothing. I've been fired and rejected, betrayed, undermined, underestimated, cheated, and lied to. Let's start there if we can. Where does someone with all of those negative experiences find the resilience to ultimately succeed like you have?
Wow, that's a deep question, but my book is deep. So
Yes, that's why I'm so glad that you're sitting
what
here.
else can I expect? To be honest, I'm very convinced I'm not the only one.
Right.
And most people hide their struggles and just go inside and hibernate and disconnect from humanity. And that's why the suicide rate is high, right? A lot of people are depressed and unhappy. And undermining is a really serious thing and nobody really talks about it.
Right.
And I believe that things happen in your lifetime for you, not, against you. I think that is your path this lifetime to become stronger and better. Right. And it's up to you, what do you do with it? Now, that's not an easy task. I'm telling you, I had many moments that I want to give up this lifetime.
Right.
But I always got stronger out of it with really getting focused on what do I want and who do I want to hang out with. It's the people you surround yourself with that are actually very key on your success and your happiness.
Right. I have noticed in my own personal life that as I get older and I start to value character and honor more than anything else in someone else in my circle gets smaller and smaller. Those people, that circle of honor and character is small enough now to where I can literally count it on one hand. Is that the same that's happened for you?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the more you evolve as a human being, your circle gets smaller.
Okay.
Because most people just stop evolving.
Right.
They just get comfortable and just wake up another day until it's the last breath. So your circle gets smaller, not just based on success and money. Right. Your circle gets different, but also your personal development. Right. And I think if we can inspire more men and women to really stay on the journey of personal development, spiritual, emotional, physical, mentally, then your life will be different.
Right. I hope you set aside a lot of time this morning because I want to cover everything if that's possible.
Yes.
You talk about being undermined.
Yeah.
And I can completely see and before I opened the book, before I went to page 1, I could see being undermined by a boss, by a competitor in the same industry. I can see that. But you talk about being undermined from the very beginning from parents.
Yes.
Did that happen with you?
Yes.
Okay, and how so?
The undermining, I think there's so much expectations from parents, right? I mean, there's the tradition how we should raise a child, and I just fell in the category. My parents thought that there was a certain way, especially my dad, but it didn't fit my box. Actually, I don't have a box, so my dad is very traditional, very following the rules, and this is the way we do it. And so I got forced into directions that I really didn't want to go into.
Right.
In my education, and then dating, and the people hanging out with, and all kinds of things that were just not for me. That was his dream, or maybe he thought it would be the best thing for me. So that is undermining. Is sometimes we don't even know we're getting undermined until we get older, or we realize that people keep pushing us off our path because they want us to fit in their, on their journey or on their path.
Right.
But my path is not your path. And so your path is not my path. Right. And it requires to do a lot of soul searching and stay true to your course because you're distracted everywhere. Right. People will pull you into their business or their opportunity or their dream, and
Right. And if you, it takes a certain strength of, what is it? Is it a strength of character that keeps you on that path? Is it a stubbornness? What is it that can keep you on that path?
Oh yeah, I'm known to be stubborn, so I guess that's part of it.
Okay.
I think when you're really connected to your soul purpose, why you're on this planet, this lifetime, and soul purpose gets sometimes so heavy weighted. Right. Well, sometimes people are here to be a mom and be an incredible mom,
right? And
that can be your life purpose. So it doesn't need to be you have to be the next best keynote speaker or author or millionaire or whatever. It can be something that's really deep through who you are this lifetime. Right. And your soul purpose, I think there are more than one. It's not that at 20 you know what you want to do and then you just stick on that path. I think there are more reasons why you're here. Right. But that soul searching is most people stay away from because they want to fit into their surroundings and the environment they're already part of.
Whatever that mold might be, they want to fit into it. Can be
from their home environment, or even near Laguna Beach. It's just a pretty, it's a bubble. Right. And I like to poke the bubble sometimes.
There you go. There. Well put. I want to circle back later in our conversation to your dad and to that and to your upbringing. But I want to talk about Codebreakers Technology for just a moment, if I can. You're the co-founder of something called Codebreakers Technology, which is you're the foremost expert on personality types. Mm-hmm. As far as business and leadership, what personality type is essential for leadership?
All of them.
Okay.
There is not one better than the other. There's 4 personality types.
Right.
And we base it in buying behavior. So the science of buying behavior. Why are people saying yes and why are they saying no? Most personality assessments out there like DISC and Myers-Briggs and the color code, like we all know those, are based on who you are and how you operate. The one we created is about who is your customer and why are they going to buy from you instead of from someone else. And it's get triggered by their value system on what do they value most in life. And I think leadership or entrepreneurship can be in any of the personality types depending on what area. You have scientists, neuroscientists, you got doctors that are incredible successful. But there are different personality types than maybe somebody a retail shop here that sells clothes or crystals, right. Or me running a tech and AI company and speaking around the world. There are different personality types that there's that passion for sharing their wisdom or their product or their service. So they're all now we found out the most successful ones compared to the other ones.
Right.
So we found after doing research with several PhDs from different universities who did the blind study on our invention, is that the person that is driven high action. So we have blueprint, action, nurture, knowledge.
Right.
The action one is the one that seeks the opportunity and the freedom, and it will go out there no matter what. Nobody's gonna stop them. They're just gonna go for it.
Right.
Their mind is not gonna take over. So we found that AN, action, nurture is focused on relationship currency.
Right.
So when you have that combination, they're just easier with people. And at the end of the day, we do business with people. So we've seen that those entrepreneurs are more successful than when you're driven by knowledge or blueprint, where you're more in your head and it has to be perfect.
Right. I'm telling the audience right now, I promise I did not pay her to say that. Is there a personality type that is poison to leadership? Or personal relationships?
You have we can go very deep on this.
Yeah.
In the dating, marriage, most of the time people attract their opposite because it feels like the yin yang. You complete me, right?
Right.
You're attracted, and then you start attacking each other because you're so different.
Right.
Because one wants to go to Hawaii and the other one wants to go to Antarctica. Right. It's totally different. Right. How do you find that common sense in the parenting, or even in the daily operations in your home, depending on your personality? Some people would require structure and everything planned years ahead of time. Right. And others would just fly off their pants out of the door and, we'll see what the day brings. Yeah,
I'm raising my hand on that one there.
So, there's a lot of dynamics in there. And we did the whole, for the past 15 years on business, sales, revenue, how to grow your company, knowing the personality type across the human table. And then we got people coming back, hey, you helped me to make more money, but you actually saved my marriage, or I found the love of my life, or I became a better parent. I started to parent my children differently. And we always say, you don't have the child you wish you had, you have the one you have. Because we like to parent the way we are, but it doesn't fit their personality type. So now you have to alter the way you get things you want them to do, but you have to speak their language.
Right. I'll step back just a moment to the moment I opened the book. I thought, well, I'm gonna hear and read a lot of advice on how to be a better business person, how to be a better entrepreneur. But as you roll through this book, this is how to succeed as a human being. This is how to succeed in life, which I find just the connections that you're able to make in this book absolutely astonishing, first of all. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Had you put this book on the shelf for a while and let yourself grow before you went back to it? How was it, or was it just one piece that you drew out and went, I'm going to talk about my life in one narrative, and let's go?
Now the funny thing is, I was never really inspired to write a book in the first place.
That is funny.
That is funny. And then my wife wrote 2 books.
Okay.
And then my son, 5 years old, last year he was 4 when I wrote it. He said, Mimi, where's your book? And I'm like, that's a very deep question.
Out of the mouths of babes, right?
Yeah, no, they just, it was an inspiration. And I said, I didn't write it yet. And with that sentence, I committed to writing.
Right.
And then I thought, you know what? I turned 50 in January, so it was last year, August.
Okay.
I want to write it before I turn 50.
Okay.
And so August till December, I dedicated to write the book. And the title came first through a meditation. So the title was first, and a lot of authors start writing, and the title will come somewhere at the end.
Right.
For me, the title came like, now, okay. And it kept coming back. And I was negotiating with myself on the title. And I thought, now, I'm just going to write my life journey and my wisdom and the business lessons, the personal lessons, the spiritual lessons. And then it started to flow, one chapter after another. So, yeah.
I want to get into some of the personal lessons as well as we move on to the conversation, but I do want if a business person comes to you, how do you approach an entrepreneur differently than you do someone that's a corporate box checker, that is fitting into the corporate? They're just checking the box every day. They're fit into a company that's already got a formula that works. They don't step outside the box. How do you approach each of them differently?
Yeah, corporations, most of the time they call me the C-suite whisperer. So they bring me in at the C-suite level to really for insight. They're stuck on their mission or their vision, or they need a reorganization, restructure. And I read the organization and literally in an hour, I can tell them exactly where the pain points are. And I'm not telling you how I do it.
Okay.
But it's a magical. They want to change. They want innovation. They want to grow.
Right.
But the people that having their job in the field or in the office, they don't want to grow. They just want to have a paycheck. They just want to come to work 9 to 5, do their work, task, that's done. So their level of personal development and involvement is very low, as long as they get paid their paycheck. And I'll say, when you have a job, your excitement is literally 30 seconds a month. When you open your bank account and you see the deposit of your paycheck and you're, yay! And 30 seconds later, it's gone. That is basically the average journey of an employee. As an entrepreneur, they have to grow. They have to make money, otherwise they're not eating. Right. So they're really hungry to get consulting or coaching or advice from people that walk the path. And they invest a lot in themselves and in their business to grow. Because if they're not growing, they're not eating. You know, when you have a job, you get paid no matter if you do your job or not. Most people just, you conform to, as long as you do enough to not get fired.
Right. Can you, if someone comes to you for a consultation, coaching, whatever it is, can you in that first couple of minutes of conversation know that you're not cut out to be an entrepreneur? You should really just be a box checker.
I can see that, but sometimes their desire to be an entrepreneur is big. And as long as the desire is big enough, I can coach them, but I will tell them, I recommend you hire someone that's going to run the business. Okay. So you can do what you're really good at. Right. Either the invention of the product or the tech or whatever. Because that's how they start. They created something they believe is better than what already exists.
Right.
So, but most of the time, the inventor is not necessarily the best CEO of the company.
Okay, that's well put. Well put. Thank you. And as far as the separation of a professional life and personal life, is it possible to strike a healthy balance? And how do we do that? Do we not separate the two enough? Should they be separate?
Entrepreneurship is in your blood. When you own your own business, it's like a 24/7. That's always in the back of your head.
Right.
I think as a European, growing up in the European culture with balance, right, and really caring about all forms of wealth, I believe there are 8 forms of wealth. America is very focused on opportunity and making money.
Right.
And I come from, like, for me, my health is important, my friends are important, my family is important, my traveling, fun and adventure, like all 8 are important to me. I think you can do it. It comes back to really being intentional about your day, your week, your month, your year is going to look like. And it's hard in the family environment, I must say, because my wife and I own a company and I have my own company. Mm-hmm. So we're always working. When we had our son in 2020, it changed because the dynamic and energy has to go to that little guy.
Right.
And so that was a challenge to finding that balance, because I was like, I'm always behind on my business.
Right.
Now he's older, 5, going to school, so it's a lot easier. I believe you can balance it. We have a very balanced life where we work really hard and then we play really hard. And I'm a believer in it. To be really happy, it's not the money. Right. Money has never been a driver. Now, I like to make a lot of money.
Right.
Because it makes life a lot easier. People tell me, yeah, money doesn't buy you happiness. I'm telling you, money buys you happiness. When you can pay your bills and go on a fly first class instead of coach, it really puts a smile on your face. And I promise.
There's nothing worse than struggling for the bill paying, than struggling for money. That's a terrible place to be in, and it shuts down everything else in your life and doesn't allow the creative juices to flow.
I tell people, when people are not making money, they also cannot be kind.
Okay. Oh.
Because our mantra is make people matter. And I told Sherry, that is a great mantra, but people are not making money, they're not nice. Right. The moment they have money, they can brave. They can pay the bills and suddenly their eyes open again to the world. Right. You know, I'm observing people all the time. That's what I do.
Your son Kai was born in May of 2020, so that's 2 months after the shutdown here in the United States.
Yeah.
So you were with a brand new baby in the shutdown. Was there a panic moment for you?
Now, panic maybe not the word, but it was for sure. Not the timing I was hoping for.
Sometimes it never is, right?
And on the other hand, it was because we were traveling all the time around the world, speaking at conferences. So with the shutdown, we had to stay home.
Right.
And we enjoyed Kai every single day. Although I must say, I missed the birth. Then in the NICU for 6 weeks, we never were allowed to be with our son together. So the first moment as a family together was when he came home after 6 weeks.
Right.
And I think that emotional, that was an emotional phase. My family's in the Netherlands.
Right.
So they didn't see Kai until he turned 1. They missed their whole first year. My parents, my sisters, my friends over there. So that was the hard part, being disconnected from our family and friends. And I think that was the hard part. The lockdown itself, I thought it was ridiculous, but it's a different topic. But I'm a freedom seeker, so...
Right. We'll get into that different topic at some other point because I have my own opinions on it as well. So when we talk about that money isn't really the most important aspect of our lives, I find that as an artist, and I know artists who create just for the sense of creation, just for the sense of creating an original piece of art. I know an artist whose art is incredibly unique, one of a kind, and they pour their soul into each and every piece that they create. Truly unique. No other artist of that same level, right? Yet they've been ripped off. Another artist has come along and almost copied their work exactly as it is and selling and becoming successful. How would you counsel that particular creative to continue?
There is nobody like you. Even when they copy-paste. We have people try to copy what we created.
Right.
But I always tell my wife, they don't have you and me.
Yeah. Does it piss you off a little bit, though?
It pisses me off, but it's also a compliment.
Right. You think so? Okay.
Of course.
I think it's
when
hackery.
When you create something that somebody wants to copy means you're unique and you created something that somebody wants to copy. Right. Copy-paste is not a bad thing. But they never have you. Right. You are the original. Right. And it only means you have to 10x your price.
Okay.
Your art has to be 10x more.
Okay.
Because then they know you're the original.
Okay. That makes sense. And I would still I know that there's the old saying that, okay, that's the ultimate flattery, that they're copying you. I just find it a hack. I do. I find
it is a hack.
Yeah.
But it happens in every industry.
Yeah.
In every industry it happens.
Right.
From, the T-shirts in China with the pony on it, from to an artist that, that creates beautiful art, and now literally you see it somewhere else, like, hey, that's my idea, and you're copying it. You cannot stop that. Right. And you just have to create that resilience muscle that you are staying true to your course and that you just keep creating and innovating. And I tell you just have to be the most expensive one.
Okay. All right.
Because originality comes with a price tag.
Oh, beautifully put. Thank you for that. I want to circle back, as I said I would, to your upbringing. You are one of a pair of twins. You have a twin sister. Yeah. You were raised in the same house with the same father, and I'm curious if your twin sister and you did you have parallel teen and adult experiences because of that, or did you go two separate ways?
You can put I can have 2, 6, or 10 children, and they will all say that their childhood was totally different.
Right.
Because it is through their lens and their personality type and their perspective, and parents change. The more children, they evolve or not. Right. And we are opposite personality types, and my sister is exactly like my dad. So although they didn't get along either, we didn't get along as children with my dad. And I believe my dad really did the best he could. I don't blame him for it. He just didn't know how to do it differently. So, but it was also a stepping stone for me to step it up this lifetime. Right. I guess I believe we choose our parents when we come to this planet. So I don't know why I was that ambitious, but now I'm here 50 years later. I know why. But when I was a child, I was miserable and unhappy, and my sister was too. So I think we have the same experience. How we got out of that and how we created our own life is totally different.
Was there a time in your adult life where, and I don't know that forgive is the right word, whether you ever needed to forgive your father, but did you get closer with him in an adult life, or no? Was there always that chasm between you?
There's still the chasm. It got better, but there is not this true, warm, loving father-daughter relationship.
Right.
I think he's proud. I don't know. He just doesn't know how to express it.
Right.
I believe he loves me. He just doesn't know how to express it. So I see him once a year when I'm back in the Netherlands.
Okay.
We talk maybe twice a year and over the phone, and that's it.
And your sister being very much like him, is that also one of the traits that she keeps?
Close. They're very close.
But I'm saying her relationship with you, that she's very much like him. Does she know how to love you? Does she know how to?
Yeah, I realized her personality type, her way of loving is telling me what to do, okay?
Okay.
Or you should do this, or you cannot do that, or that is the rule. And I'm like, what rule? Like, it's, she's really focused on tradition and rules, and this is how you do it. And my dad is like that too. And I'm like, no, I will create my own rules. I want to create my own life.
Right.
And so there is sometimes that friction, but we love each other. And we're identical twin at the end of the day, You cannot take away that connection. We're very connected. She lives in Spain. I live here. But we see each other once a year. And then I talk to her a few times a month.
Mm-hmm. The book goes into detail of your two near-death experiences. One of them, you're just riding your bike on a beautiful day, and
beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, speeding, racing motorcycles. One of them hits you. Explain that to our audience. What happened, and what you garnered from that.
It's one of those moments that really changed your life. People say, I'm so sad for you that accident happened to you. And I say, it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm curious as to why.
Yeah. It was two motorcycles racing. In the Netherlands, you have the road and you have a bike path. And then there was a gas station, and one of the motorcycles decided to do a shortcut through the gas station, just not knowing that I was on my bicycle on the bike path right there. Right. So they basically hamburgered me, and we were all on the ground. It was like a mess. I know when that happened, I was not even mad. It was more like a total pause of my life, a reflection moment. I was really sad and depressed for a while because, in the hospital for a very long time, 5 months.
Right.
ICU were at my near-death experiences, and then coming out of it where everybody is like in 23, 24, 25, living their life and going out and party, and I was at home by myself. Right. So that was a really tough time. It was also the moment I realized that I had to start living my life and not the life of my parents.
Okay. And that you realized that while laying in the hospital bed.
Yeah, I could do nothing else than just lay and think. So and then I used the DVDs of Tony Robbins to really get in my power and really connect with, do some healing towards my family and my own healing path, and do a lot of personal development. Started reading a lot of books, like what else do you do when you're in a hospital bed that long? Right. I'm not really a television person, so I just got really deep in the personal development. Right. And through my near-death experience, I knew exactly why I was on this planet. Well, before that, I had no clue why I was here. I was just following everybody else's guidance,
right,
leading me on a path that was just misery.
Right.
So after that whole journey of, it took me 3 years to get back on my feet. I was really clear on my journey. Okay. And I made some really tough decisions. The people I was dating, the business I was in, the life I wanted to live, like everything changed.
Again, you purposely made your circle smaller, and the people in your life had to be of substance and of character.
Right.
Okay. I love that. And you had to wear a bodysuit for 8 years to avoid the blood clotting that had happened. And I guess the hospital messed up initially by just sending you home. Yeah,
after my accident, they actually sent me home pretty quickly.
Right.
Because there was a miracle in that I had a few injuries, but it was not that bad until 2 weeks later,
Right.
I couldn't breathe. I fainted, and a few times I went back to the hospital and said, "It's all between your ears," and I'm like, "It's not between my ears. I literally cannot breathe."
Right.
And until I fainted at home, and my girlfriend called the ambulance, says, she's out. Like, I need. And then they put me in an MRI and found like 38 blood clots through my whole body.
Right. Well,
And then it was like a rush to the ICU, and of course,
right.
heparin and blood thinning, and then of course my body was so out of, that was a struggle to get that cleared. And then when you lay in bed for months, your muscle strength is gone, the connection between the brain and the movement. There's so much happens in a few months that I literally had to find the strength, but also reprogram how to walk and
Right.
be in my power. And the compression suits, a lot of people wear compression socks when they have a DVT or
Right.
vein issues. I had to literally wear from my toes to my neck.
For 8 years.
Yes.
Wow. So I'll answer a question from the listening audience on the Text Connect myself. It took 10 years, but you eventually got one of the cyclists to pay. You
lawsuit,
you won the
No,
lawsuit
it's
after
not
10
America, okay? In the Netherlands, when you win a lawsuit, you get a maybe a bouquet of flowers. No, it's I stopped the battle after 10 years.
Right.
They knew they were wrong, and they just didn't want to pay, right? So the insurance company, we settled. They paid all my bills.
Okay.
So I got all the pays billed for, and they gave me like a €5,000. Here's a bonus. But all the medical bills afterwards and the things that really I couldn't do, it was way more. But at one time, you just have to choose, do I need to be right, or I just want to be happy and live my life? Because lawsuits are draining.
Right.
Time, energy, and money. And I just didn't want to continue with it. And I just stopped it. And I said, you have to live with this the rest of your life and have a great life.
What a very conscious decision to make. It really is, and it's a tough decision because you do want to be right, and you do want the courts to prove that you're right.
But it after 10 years, it's a long time.
Right, I get it. I want to go directly from the book if I can, and some things that struck me that I've been wanting to ask you about. You write, everyone talks about how hard it is to trust people after you've been hurt, but barely anyone talks about how hard it is to trust yourself when you've had your gut instincts, dreams, plans, passion, and convictions skillfully undermined by someone. That moment of gaining trust for yourself after that, when does that happen, and what does it take to turn that light on inside of us?
There's several moments. I think I realized a lot of people but when you're sick, or I was like, there is something for people, as long as you stay sick, I can take care of you. And that's like a comfort for that person. But
Right.
I wanted to get out so badly. Like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it my way. But it's probably the Capricorn in me. The stubborn person inside of me that doesn't like when people tell me what to do. Or when you tell me you cannot do it, I will show you that I will do it.
Right.
I think we get undermined all the time, and we don't even know it, or we're not aware of it. I think it's an awareness that's just lacking, right? Even you turn on the television, you get undermined all the time.
Right. You speak now about an incident that happened in Catholic school because you're involved personally in stopping sex trafficking across the globe. Tell us about the incident. You were bullied as a child, so on top of everything else, you were bullied as a child, and as you went into Catholic school, it wasn't just kids bullying you, it was adults taking advantage of you.
Right.
Tell us about that.
The funny thing is I'm not even Catholic, and I went to a Catholic school. So bullying happens. That's why I'm passionate with our company. Our foundation is focused on taking our system into school systems and universities to really stop bullying and suicide under that age group. Came from that moment in time where I've been sexual abused by the principal of my high school for a long time, for years, right? And that whole process, that going through that, it's such a humiliation of your who you are, your soul, your emotion, your body. That moment in time, although when I was 15 to 18, it was really hard, and it took me a long time to get out of that, like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. Like, people just use me.
Right.
So it was a journey. I must say, after my near-death experience, so much clarity came. My personal development journey, I did so much healing around all the trauma that happened.
Right.
That I just became passionate about how can we educate at a young age that it's just not okay to do so. And that's I don't think the children or the people that do it, I think they have been abused, so we have to go ancestors back
Right.
to stop it. But we cannot go back that far. We have to go change this generation.
Right.
And sex trafficking is a very serious. A lot of women and children are involved, and the numbers are like so high.
Astonishingly
it's
high.
like, it just makes me want to throw up.
Right.
And so I'm not really actively, but I go to events, family offices event. I consult the family offices too, and they invite me to those events, and then I hear and I see what happens and the impact. And with social media and the internet, it only got worse, right? All those kids get sucked into guys that are like 50-year-olds pretending like they're like 15 or 18 and trying to date a 10-year-old girl, and before you know it, they're a victim and they're gone.
Was there ever a confrontational moment with this principal of that school? Did you ever go back as an adult, or was
No.
there a reveal of what had happened to you?
That's one of those things. I think that's the problem when women are abused or children. The predator really talks into your mind to not talk about it, and you get manipulated and so forced into believing that when you talk about it, bad things are gonna happen to you, that you don't talk about it. I wish I was strong enough back in the day that I talked about it and put it out there. I put it in my book. Purposely, I don't mention his name because I don't want to ruin his family. He has children.
That's very generous of you. I'm a little more spiteful than that. I would be ruining everyone in his life.
I cannot turn back time,
Right.
and the only thing what I'm sad about is that if it was not just me, I'm convinced that it not was just me. And so, what if I spoke my truth when I was 17
Right.
instead of 50? How many girls would have been in a better place right now because of me?
Right.
So that's the only thing that I really, really regret. Is that it's you do things when you're ready. It's not going to change anything. I had to do my healing, and so do all the other girls and women have to do their own healing. He has to live with it. At the end of the day, I always pray that his own daughter is not going through the same thing.
Right.
That's the only thing that I always hope for. But life has its own journey, and I believe karma does its own job all the time. So I'm not really hateful or carrying that with me and want to hurt them back. I believe God, karma, all of that will take care of it.
There's a line in a song that I love that says, "Scars are souvenirs we never lose," and the path.
That's true.
The path is never lost. So,
I think it's so true because we collect Christmas ornaments from around the world.
right.
Because I don't like knickknacks, so they can come out once a year. And it is a souvenir, and it is a big marker of my success in my life. So it's just another dot
Right.
somewhere on my personal map
Okay.
that made me who I am.
I want to go back to the book and read something again that it's gripping. You do a call to action where you challenge us to never play small again. Set boundaries to keep others from undermining you. Don't let others' opinions dim your light. Step into your power and believe in your divine right to be you. I encourage you never to be undermined again. And most importantly, and this is the line that gets me, don't undermine yourself.
Right.
We do that all the time, don't we?
We do that all the time. Because we're used to being undermined without knowing we're undermined. And
Right.
so it becomes a habit to undermine ourselves.
Right.
Because we just try to fit in the social circle or the business environment we're in. And I don't want to fit in. I don't need to fit in. You're going to like me or not, and I'm not attached to any of it.
Right.
I want to make sure that I live my life on my terms. and do good in the world and leave my legacy when I'm alive, not when I'm dead. So I touch a lot of lives. I help a lot of businesses. And that is why I'm here. And so nobody can redirect me from that path anymore. I've been redirected many times. You know, my wife always wants to stay focused on just our business. And no, but this is my life path. This is my sole purpose. I have to do this. So I do both. But yeah, don't try to take me off my path.
You also talk about the importance of rocking the boat. There's an entire chapter on rocking the boat. Talk to us about that and the importance of it.
Is there anything specific in that chapter that really got you? Because I can talk about a lot of things.
Yeah. So I'll go to a specific here. You asked the question, have you ever left your safe harbor to do hard things in order to grow? Is your life by your design? And what would happen if you followed your heart?
Yeah.
Too often we don't do that. Again, these are limitations we put on ourselves, right?
Right. It's the limitations we grew up with, and it became our normal. Right. So when something happens, we go back to our foundation of what we know. And I think the moment you rock your own boat, meaning you go on a trip by yourself you've never done, or you go to an event you've never been to, or you even read a book you would never pick out off the shelf, but because you say that title is too intimidating for me, I don't want to go there.
Right.
Or go to an event you would never want to. It's not your tribe, or your. Just go, right. Because you will meet people, or read things, or do things you've never done before. You know, right. And I rocked the boat many times in my lifetime. I switched careers 100 times, built several businesses. Moving to the U.S. was a big one, rocking my boat. But you know, you have to do that to grow.
You have to take the chance.
You have to take the chance.
Every once in a while, you just jump and hope that you land safely.
Yeah, and if you don't land right, then just do a few steps and you're in a better place.
Right. If someone wanted to find you for a consultation for their company, or for maybe some personal growth, are you available for that? And how do they do that?
The best way, because my mailbox is flooding, is just send me a text message. Don't call me because I never answer my phone.
Likewise.
You can send me a text message at 858-847-8368. And I will connect with you and set up a time to just hear what's going on in your world and take it from there.
And if you want to leave our audience with a thought, if you want to leave them with a suggestion or something to just take with them and carry with them, what is that?
Start with a blank slate. 2026 is around the corner. It's a very powerful year energy-wise. It's all about momentum and growth and expansion, 2026. So I would say buy a journal, start writing all your dreams and desires, and be absolutely ridiculous in what if I have this, or what if that. Just write, and you will get so much clarity on what you really want to do, and then take action on it. Because some people are really good at meditating or making vision boards or plans, and they never take action.
Right.
So I'd say sit with yourself. It's a beautiful time of the year to reflect on 2025. Write down what do you want in 2026, and then actually take action now. Don't wait till January 1st or 2nd. Start now. Right. Take the action steps, and every step is a step. You don't need to do a big jump, but do that first step to the life you want to live. Increase your prices. I tell people all the time, why are you in this freaking middle zone with your pricing where everyone else is? You're either going to be low end, and you attract a lot of people, or you're going to be high end, and you're going to attract people that can afford high end. But when you're in the middle, you're never going to succeed. Yeah. It's crowded. Go away from the crowd. That's what I tell people. Go away from the crowd, be bold, raise your prices, and do something you've never done before. Go on a trip to Europe or to Asia if you've never done it. Go bungee jumping or cliff diving or whatever you want to do. Do something that really is so out of your comfort zone that it's just going to put you back on track to really have an amazing life.
So glad we had this conversation. The book is The Undermined Soul, Leadership Strategies to Reveal Your Full Potential. The author is Esther Wildenberg. How do we get this book that best suits you, that benefits you the most?
There's two ways. Amazon is always there, your best friend. I know. We all are married to Amazon. And then estherwildenberg.com.
Okay.
That's where the book is cheaper than on Amazon.
Okay.
So if you want to save $15, you go to estherwildenberg.com.
Okay.
If you just want the book overnight between 5 and 7 a.m., then it's Amazon.
It's Amazon. Esther Wildenberg, thank you so very much for taking the time with us today. An enlightening conversation. I look forward to our next conversation.
I'm so happy I spent this time with you, and I'm looking forward to meet some of your audience. And I love Laguna Beach, so stay tuned.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Esther Wildenberg. If you need information again on how to find the book or how to get in touch with Esther, just reach out to me here by text at the radio station. 8:44 the time. It's the Mornings with Ed show, and it's the all-new voice of Laguna.